Okay, in this video I'm using a laser. So I'm just throwing in an 1/8 of an inch piece of plywood. And what I'm making in this video is a Magic the Gathering deck box. So this first step, you just import your designs into whatever software you're using, and the laser starts cutting. So one thing, if you ever decide to try this, is you just gotta do a little trial and error. Don't be afraid to waste a couple pieces of wood to get your settings right. So this first cut, you'll see I pulled the piece out and they're not fully separated. You see they came out with it, but not a big problem. These things are super cheap. I think it's like $1 per sheet of plywood. So I'm just doing a dry fit. So if you decide to do something like this, whether it's like a trading card game box like I'm making here, or just a box in general, there's something you want to Google called kerf, and I'll put that on the screen here, the word kerf. You want to factor that into your cuts, because just like a saw, the beam of light that a laser uses to cut wood has a width, and if you're not taking that width into account, just like you can see here, things might not be super snug fitting together. It's not huge, it's like less than 1 millimeter, but it's there. So for this video, I really was just trying to see if this was a feasible idea. So I was using super glue here. You'll notice I'm holding everything together and some of it leaked out onto the wood. Probably not the best idea if you're going to do this to sell or as a gift, because as you'll see later, if you try to stain the wood, paint the wood, seal the wood, super glue, kind of doesn't make it look that great. So I would use a wood glue, clamp everything together, maybe sand it down after it's all together, just so that the sides don't have any glue residue. But yeah, so here I'm just building the outer box. So this box is going to have an outer box and an inner box holding the cards to make it easy to grab the cards, but also to give it kind of a friction fit so there's no latches required. And here I'm just throwing in another piece of wood to make the lid of the box, because the whole thing wouldn't fit on, these are 12 by 12 inch sheets of plywood. And there you see it, there's the top. So if you can kind of imagine it, those two pieces on the right, the half size piece is the bottom, that big piece is going to slide into it to put the cards into, and then this piece I'm assembling here is going to be the lid. And gotta say, this is actually super easy. You can use box generators online. I actually designed this box myself in a software called Inkscape. Gives you a lot more control over the joints that you use, how big they are, where they are. So if you want a tutorial on that, comment and I'll try to make one. But then for the top of this box, since it's for Magic the Gathering, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy. I have purchased Final Fantasy Magic cards, so I wanted to engrave this guy, Titus, from Final Fantasy X onto the cover of this box. I thought it'd be really cool, especially if you're playing with that deck, which is a deck that I actually have, and that's what it ended up coming out. Looked really good. Ooh. Yeah. And that's the idea. So you slide the lid on, you got like some sort of an image on the top, or top and sides, whatever you want, and away you go. So this was a little test I did, and I don't like how it came out, and I made 2 other boxes that I'm going to show you at the end of this video, but I tried to stain this with this stain called Kita dye. I think from my Googling, it's kind of the stuff they use for instruments, guitars, which I thought would look super cool in a box like this, but the super glue kind of stopped the dye from penetrating all along the wood, so I gave up on this box when I finished dyeing it, and I made 2 other options to kind of show you guys what might be something cool if you want to make these. So this is that Titus box. Stain didn't penetrate everywhere, kind of blotchy. I didn't seal it, so it's not very glossy, as you can see. Not the best. Wouldn't recommend if you're not finishing the box, wiping off all the glue, or using wood glue. So I would give this one like a 2 out of 10, this first box. Second one, I actually made it a vertical orientation box, and I engraved Lord of the Rings images on all 4 sides and the top. So there's the One Ring, and then there's like Sauron, just like an Uruk-hai, and Mount Doom, and then I think that is, what is that? I forgot what that is. That guy in the deep that fights the wizard. I forget. Anyways, this one has a lid with a leather hinge, so I thought that was pretty cool. but I didn't dial in the settings properly for all the engravings. And this is the best option. So I actually did kind of an overlay where I carved out in the laser engraver this like skull and vine pattern that I put on top of the image on top of the box. And then this one I sealed with polyurethane, so it's got that little sheen. I think this one looks pretty cool. So you got Sauron on the back, the skull and vines pattern, and I sealed the box inside and out, so it's super smooth. It's actually pretty durable. We'll put up with scratches. Just a cool box that you can make for you or your friends, or as a gift, or even to sell. Pretty cool. Check it out.